In today's video, we are on the M5 down in Somerset. Each year, for 4 in every 5 years, the best part of 200,000 people will take a pilgrimage down the M5, across the A39 and the A361, as they head to the Glastonbury Festival. The first Glastonbury Festival took place in 1970. Since then, it's gone on to become one of the world's biggest festivals. In this video, we're going to be taking a drive past the festival site, whilst we also look at a couple of other interesting things that you might see along the A39 and A361. So let's discuss it. One the trucker's eye!
Why does it always rain on me?
So on the road to Glastonbury, you might pass some very interesting places. One thing you're normally guaranteed with Glastonbury is grey skies and rain. We'll talk a bit more about the festival later on. One of the first places of interest that you'll notice is this rather amazing looking building. Now, not to confuse people, but if you were heading to Glastonbury, this building would come up on the left. It was just easier to use the video heading away from Glastonbury, as it was easier to see. Avalon Priory dates back to the 1830s. It was originally built by a guy called William Stradling. Several years later it was extended into a country house. But in 1909, Major Francis Kennedy commissioned architect Frederick Bligh Bond,
My name's Bond,
to build a Tudor Gothic revival wing. If you're wondering what kind of person would live there in the modern day, then look no further than the reviews on Google Maps. Dominic Spengler's review says that this place is not for public viewing, but rather it is inhabited by an eclectic collection of alternative people. Sounds a bit like Downing Street. Whilst doing further research, it became clear that Mr. Spengler's review and statement that it is inhabited by an eclectic collection of alternative people seem to get comprehensively backed up by a director and the name of her company that operates out of the Priory, Marguerite Ledley, being the director of the Fellowship of the Trees. But did you know that you could soon be the owner of the Avalon Priory? As Avalon Priory is up for sale, and all you need is a spare £1.5 million or so. And because the Priory is up for sale, we can have a cheeky look inside. If you do go and buy the Priory after seeing it on this video, then don't forget to mention the trucker's eye, as I want my commission. Just before we leave Avalon Priory, for those of you who don't know what Avalon is, in Arthurian legends, Avalon is depicted as a mystical island often associated with healing in the afterlife. The Glastonbury tour, which we will see later in this video, is considered by many to be the physical manifestation of Avalon. Since 1992, Glastonbury Festival has had its own Field of Avalon area. Let's get a bit further along the road to Glastonbury and find our next point of interest. I've just remembered, we need to go the other way. Just before you arrive in the town of Glastonbury, you'll pass through a village called Street. And in the village of Street, you'll see this sign. Exactly 200 years ago, a company was founded in Street that sold its products worldwide.
If all children were made the same, our job at Clark's would be a whole lot easier. But children are individuals. And at Clark's, we never forget that.
Clark's Footwear was founded in 1825 by Cyrus Clark. And despite the company now being owned by a foreign investment firm, their head office is still right here in Street. The next place on this journey that we're going to be passing through is Glastonbury itself. But if you thought that was going to be where the Glastonbury Festival is, you'd be mistaken. Let's get over there and take a look. So as we reach the town of Glastonbury, you'll notice that the roads start to get a little bit more narrow. Taking a wrong turn in a truck around here can be disastrous. The Glastonbury Abbey and King Arthur's tomb sit just to the left of this roundabout. As you can see, there is a 7.5 ton weight limit on that road, and there is no chance that you would want to go down there in a truck. At this point, we are taking a right and then a left around the grounds of the Abbey. And it was just at this point that I got to thinking, what kind of hauliers would you find in Glastonbury? The main one that I could think of was this lot.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Sparks Transport was founded in Glastonbury in 1933, and they currently operate 300 trucks. As we take the next left turn, you might notice that we're starting to head away from Glastonbury town, and still we haven't seen the festival site. In the distance, you'll see the Glastonbury Tor. One of the most common mistakes people make is to think that the Tor is the tower on the top of the hill, which it's not. Glastonbury Tor is actually the hill. The tower on the top of the hill is the roofless tower of St Michael's Church. It's a Grade 1 listed building and the site is managed by the National Trust. There are thousands of videos on YouTube if you want to see more about the Glastonbury Tor. We're going to be cracking on towards the Glastonbury Festival site, and still at this point it's 6 miles away. But there's something else between here and there that we really need to look at. In the past I've mentioned the irony that so many trains get onto my trucking channel, and even though Glastonbury doesn't have a railway station, we can still manage to find a train for the video. Onwards we go. Well, after we courteously let these vehicles through. As you head out from the town of Glastonbury, you'll come to a place called Pilton. Now, Pilton is actually where the Glastonbury Festival is based. But before you get to the site of Glastonbury, on the right hand side, you'll see this. A telegraph pole? Well, actually no, something a little bit more spectacular. Now it is time to come straight with you guys. At this point, for some reason my camera just decided to stop working. Maybe it was just the mystical properties in the area. Or maybe the battery just died. I don't know. Luckily enough, we were due to come back the other way a bit later on, and this is that footage. And being honest, you actually get a better view of what was behind that telephone pole. The first thing you'll notice is a small locomotive train, seemingly in the middle of nowhere. Shortly after it, you'll notice some level crossing gates and a buffet carriage. This is Pilton Farm, and it's owned by an ex-employee of the railway, Paul Chant. Mr. Chant even built a small mocked-up railway station and even made ITV News.
Well, this is quite the train set, isn't it? Not just a locomotive there with track, gates from an old level crossing, but look at this, an old 1979 Pullman's buffet car housed in this beautiful station, purpose-built and designed by this man. This is your dream, isn't it, Paul? Stunning.
Absolutely. From a very young age, I always loved railways. The noise, the smell, and the whole energy about it. I mean, from a very young boy, I was sold.
Mr. Chant goes on to tell viewers what the name of the railway station is.
Have you named it yet? Has it got a name, this station?
It's called Pilton because we're in Pilton.
And this isn't the only venture on Pilton Farm. Mr. Chant is described as a self-styled eco-farmer, and it's not only the real-life train set that has got him into the newspapers, so as his cider making, even being compared to a real-life Jeremy Clarkson. I'm not sure what kind of real Jeremy Clarkson isn't, but there you go. On the thumbnail to this video I've made a statement that Glastonbury Festival is not in Glastonbury. And of course we know it's in Pilton. The first ever Glastonbury Festival took place in 1970, and back then it was actually called the Pilton Pop, Folk and Blues Festival. So as the festival grew bigger and bigger, somebody somewhere must have thought it was better to name the festival after the nearest big town. Which is really strange, as when you look at the address for Worthy Farm where the festival is held, you can clearly see that Pilton is classed as being in Shepton Mallet. I think that we can all agree that if they'd have named it the Shepton Mallet Festival, it might not have had the same ring to it. As you can see on the video, we're currently passing the Glastonbury Festival site on the right hand side. The site itself is absolutely huge, and it will take you a good few minutes to get around the perimeter on the main road. All of this footage was filmed roughly about 2.5 weeks before Glastonbury Festival is due to take place, and the festival build is well and truly underway. I do hope you've enjoyed this video and a look at the road to Glastonbury. It's time for us to leave Somerset, and who knows where we'll end up for next week's video. If you did enjoy the video, then please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, then please consider subscribing. I'll see you all next time. One trucker's eye.